The non-aligned movement, NAM, emerged during the turbulent and newly independent states of the Global South. Its objectives were rooted in the desire to reassert national sovereignty and shape international relations on more equitable terms, free of rigid allegiance to either of the dominant power blocs of the era. Here are the objectives elaborated in detail. 1. Preservation of sovereignty and national independence. At the heart of NAM was the firm commitment to protecting and preserving national integrity. Countries joining this movement sought to chart an autonomous course in their political, economic, and cultural affairs. They rejected any form of external domination or undue interference by superpowers, striving instead for policies that reflected their particular historical contexts and developmental needs. This objective was both a reaction against the colonial past and a statement of self-determination for newly independent states aiming to forge their own destiny. 2. Promotion of peaceful coexistence and global stability. The movement's founders believed that global peace could only be secured by rejecting the binary polarization of the Cold War. NAM members were deeply invested in the idea of peaceful coexistence, emphasizing dialogue over confrontation. By advocating for non-intervention, diplomatic negotiations, and conflict resolution mechanisms, NAM aimed to foster a world order where disputes could be settled without resorting to force. This commitment to peace was designed as a counterbalance to the arms race and the pervasive threat of nuclear escalation during the Cold War. 3. Opposition to colonialism, imperialism, and neocolonialism. Another primary objective was to combat and ultimately dismantle the lingering structures of colonialism and imperialism. The movement provided a unified platform for countries that had, in many cases, suffered under colonial rule, now determined to assert their independence. This objective extended beyond mere political independence; it embraced economic and cultural liberation as well. NAM's advocacy for anti-imperialism sought to challenge the economic exploitation that continued in various forms under modern neocolonial practices, pushing for more equitable international trade relations and development policies. 4. Advocacy for sustainable economic development and social justice. Recognizing that political freedom could not be fully enjoyed without economic stability, NAM emphasized the need for equitable development. Member states promoted initiatives aimed at reducing global inequalities, fostering self-reliance, and achieving sustainable economic growth. By pushing for reforms in international financial, trade, and security systems, NAM sought to enable developing nations to better manage their own resources and pursue strategies that addressed poverty and underdevelopment. 5. Strengthening South-South cooperation and mutual support. A defining feature of the non-aligned approach was the emphasis on collaboration among developing nations. NAM believed that by strengthening cooperation through regional alliances, technical support, and shared experiences, countries could collectively improve their bargaining power on the global stage. This commitment to multilateralism and collective self-reliance not only reinforced political solidarity but also created channels for cultural exchange and economic collaboration that could drive innovation and mutual growth. 6. Shaping a multipolar world order. Finally, NAM continuously strived to influence the global balance of power. By challenging the dominance of any single bloc, the movement laid the groundwork for what it envisioned as a multipolar world where power was diffused among a larger number of influential states. This objective aimed to ensure that international institutions and global decision-making processes were more representative and fair, allowing for the voices of all nations, big or small, to contribute to the formulation of international law and global governance. Each of these objectives underscores the movement's overarching philosophy that international relations should be governed by dialogue, respect for national sovereignty, and a commitment to fairness and justice rather than competition for dominance. The non-aligned movement remains an influential voice in advocating for reforms in global policy, reminding us that the pursuit of an equitable world order is a continuous struggle that transcends the confines of any particular historical era. Would you like to discuss how these objectives have evolved in the post-Cold War era, or perhaps explore the contemporary relevance of NAM in today's geopolitical landscape?